Hey, thanks for watching. So today's video, it's going to be a little bit different because I'm actually outside. I'm on sort of like a hike slash coastal walk right now in Busan in South Korea, which is so unbelievably beautiful. I love Busan so much. I think you can see the view a little bit here. It's not focused well. But yeah, so I thought what better time to talk about traveling alone than when I'm doing a solo activity. I think being asked why I travel alone is one of the most common questions I get about my lifestyle and my travels. For some background, I think I went on my first proper solo trip when I was about 18. I had like a mental breakdown. I got fired from one of my old jobs. I used to work in a restaurant. I hated them, they hated me, and they fired me. I just had like a few €100 in my bank account at the time, and I really wanted to go on a trip somewhere. And if you're from Europe, you know that we're blessed when it comes to Ryanair cheap flights. So I decided to go to Berlin. I went to Berlin, and Berlin is still one of my favorite cities to this day. I try to go like almost every year. And yeah, I fell in love with independence and having the freedom to make choices without having to compromise or to seek other people's approval. I fell in love with the fact that like I can enjoy things alone and that I don't need to be codependent. I feel like I've never been a codependent person. I've always been really independent. Like even when I was a kid, my father told me that they would be trying to dress me for the day in my clothes, and I would be like, you know, pushing them off because I wanted to do it on my own. I've always been like that. I've always been a very determined and independent person. But I think because I have a history of rejection and abandonment, especially in friendships and some relationships, I've always been a bit like anxiously attached to people. And what I found about traveling alone and having this independent lifestyle is that it's helped me to really connect to myself and realize that, you know, I can love people. Like I'm a very social person. I have a very, very social job with tutoring. You know, sometimes I'm speaking to people for over 10 hours a day, which is crazy. I love my friends. I love meeting new people, you know. I can be a very social person, but also be extroverted and not be reliant on anybody else for my happiness or my entertainment. Of course, sometimes traveling alone, you know, it does get boring. It does get very lonely, especially when you're traveling for long periods of time like I am, and, you know, you're working a lot. You do end up spending a lot of time alone. But the thing is, what I've realized is that you experience loneliness and boredom anyway in life. Like they're normal emotions to experience as a human. So whether you're with other people or not, or whether you're at home or you're traveling, you're going to experience loneliness and boredom at some point. And I think the great thing about traveling alone is that it makes you feel very empowered, especially as a woman. And it also teaches you that you don't always need to rely on others for your entertainment. So sometimes it's great to meet new people, and it's great to, you know, have fun and do activities with new people that you meet when you're traveling. It's also great like to travel with friends or family sometimes too. But what I found is that over time, as I've traveled more alone, if there's something I want to do and no one else wants to do it with me, I will just do it, you know. I'm not going to hesitate because I need to go alone. Like for example, today I've been hiking and I have a day off of work, so I've just been spending the day alone and like doing some self-care and enjoying the nature, and you know, I feel great. Like it's nice being alone. I think one of the reasons we don't want to be alone in general, and this isn't just about travel, but in life anyway, is because we don't want to be alone with our own thoughts. When you're alone, a lot more thoughts tend to rise and unpleasant emotions, because people can be a distraction. Sorry, there's some wind here now. I might move a bit. Okay, I'm on the ground to avoid the wind. Yeah, people can be a distraction. I think that there is a difference hanging out with people because you love them and you like to be around them, and you know, like as humans, like we are social animals. Like throughout our evolution, we've been conditioned to associate a socialization with survival because it does feel safer when you're with other people and you feel accepted in the society. But I do think that a lot of people surround themselves with people because they don't want to be alone, like not necessarily because they like those people. And I was guilty of this for a very, very long time, especially as a teenager, even up until my late teens, and still sometimes now, but now I'm more aware of it and I'm able to reevaluate relationships or friendships better. But when I was younger, you know, I did anything I could to escape my own thoughts. And I think that traveling alone has taught me how to get to know myself and how to become at peace with my own thoughts. And obviously that isn't an easy thing, like that takes a lot of time and I'm still not all there. But yeah, there were some people walking by and I got really awkward. I hate this whole like vlogging style kind of thing. But yeah, like I'm not all there yet, but I think that traveling alone really helps me to understand my own thoughts. And then I think that there's the more obvious things as well, like besides embracing your independence. When you travel alone, you know, whether it's like a work and travel lifestyle like me, or you're just like going on a vacation alone, or, you know, whatever it is, you don't owe anyone anything, you know? You don't have to sacrifice anything. If there's a place you want to go, you go. If you don't want to go, you don't go. There's no one to tell you like, oh, I want to wake up at this time, I want to eat this food at this time. And sometimes that can get lonely, for sure. But I think that it's also a really amazing thing that it helps you get like really in tune with your thoughts and your internal needs and wants. Listen to your soul and your body. Like, oh, okay, today I want to go see this thing. So you go. Like, for example, yesterday, I have 2 days off this week. I'm working a lot at the moment. And like I was gonna come and do this walk yesterday, but then yesterday I was really exhausted. I just wanted to rest. I needed to do like grocery shopping, and I wanted to just like, you know, chill and have some like time alone at my Airbnb. So I decided, okay, I'll go for the walk today instead. But if I was with another person and they really wanted to do the hike yesterday, or if today they didn't have the energy, obviously you can split up. But some people don't like to do that when they're traveling with another person. They travel with the other person because they want to be with them all the time. And I just can't do that. This probably goes deeper with me. There's probably something deep in me that I am working on this, where I have this inability to compromise. And probably that's part of it. But I just realized that like there's some periods of my life where I want to know what it's like to not have to compromise. I'm very lucky that I'm able to do this. I'm very grateful I'm able to live this kind of lifestyle. My job gives me a lot of freedom, and you know, I'm still in my early 20s, and it's really nice to have a period of time where, you know, as lonely and as stressful and as difficult it might be to be traveling on my own, I'm able to experience what it's like to just listen to what I want and what my internal voice and my soul is telling me, and not have to compromise things for kids, or, you know, for a partner, or for a group of friends. And yeah, that's a really amazing thing. I suppose the main question I also get is about loneliness. I think I'll make an entire video about loneliness, because that is a really big topic. And yeah, of course I get lonely. But like I said, you know, you get lonely in your everyday life too. Like, for example, when I was still living in Ireland, there was times, you know, when I was close to friends and family and I felt lonely because, you know, people are busy, or like we have different schedules, or I'm struggling mentally. For me, loneliness is a mindset. When I feel alone within myself, that's when I feel lonely, you know? But if I feel satisfied with myself, and if I'm attracting the right people into my life, then I feel less lonely. I don't think loneliness is about the quantity of people around you. I think it's about having good quality friends or family or relationships around you. And I don't think that you can really attract those into your life until you're satisfied with the relationship you have with yourself. So I'm gonna continue my hike before the sun sets. And yeah, I hope that this answered that question. If you've had that question before, why some people travel alone, I really recommend just giving it a go, you know? Go somewhere, even in your own city, like do some activities alone. If you hate it, you hate it, but you're never gonna know until you try. I think traveling alone scares a lot of people, and it takes away opportunities from people, because maybe you'll have like time to do something or the money to do something, and then the people in your life don't, and then you might miss out on that opportunity. Don't let other people or lack of other people stop you from doing what you want to do. And beautiful Busan. I'm so excited to make the South Korea video. I absolutely love South Korea. I just switched location. So beautiful. And right next to the sign warning us about natural disasters, so that's great. Good reminder. The wind is still kind of bad here, but I just wanted to also finish this by mentioning that you're not always alone even when you travel alone. Like, I feel like when you travel alone, you are in a more open mindset, for me anyway, and I've heard a lot of other people also say this. I feel like you're more likely to try to connect with new people, like whether that's locals or when you go to like hostels and tours and stuff. You're more likely to talk to other people because I feel like when you travel with friends or family, you already have people to hang out with and talk to. So solo travel doesn't always mean being alone. Sometimes I've met really cool people and then like I travel with them for like a few days or even like longer than that, and you know, then you go your separate ways. You're not always necessarily alone, I think. And obviously it's not the same as having like your close friends or family from home, but it gives you more opportunities to connect with new people from different countries. And also I feel like for me, because of my job, I'm so incredibly lucky that I've met so many people. Like sometimes I go to a country and I don't know anyone there. Like last year when I was traveling in Latin America, that was definitely the case. So many countries I went there and I didn't know a single person there. But here in Eastern Asia, you know, I have a lot of students and people that I work with from Japan, South Korea, China, Taiwan, and I've been able to meet them in person as well. Because, you know, when you tutor someone for years, sometimes they become like a good friend as well. And even besides that, if you don't know people in the countries, like I said, you can do volunteering projects to get to know local people. You can go to local restaurants. You can take language classes. In hostels, it's almost impossible not to meet people. You have to try really hard to not talk to people in hostels because they're generally pretty social. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that and continue my hike now. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video encourages you to try to travel alone if you have the opportunity and if it's accessible to you, because especially as a woman, it's life-changing. It really is. Thank you.